Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Have You Heard? And today we are going to be listening to the wonderful Kate Bush. It's our seventh video featuring Kate, and we're going to be listening to a song that is very instrumental and important in her early years, even prior to making this debut album. I'm going to be listening to James and the Cold Gun. Um, there is the vinyl version there, purchased in 1978. Um, but yeah, this was the song, James and the Cold Gun, that EMI wanted to release as the debut single off the album. But they were dealing with a feisty teenager here, and Kate had none of that. She said, "No way, that's not the right choice. It must be Wuthering Heights." And of course, they relented. And 48 years ago, last week, Wuthering Heights hit number one in the UK. 11th of March, 1978. 48 years ago. The first female artist to ever get to number one with a self-written song. She was a trailblazer, there's no doubt about it. So what I'd like to do is play the song first of all, and we can all enjoy it. It's one of the few up-tempo songs on the album. She always said she found those the most difficult to write. Yeah, it's just a blast from the past, really. And then we can talk a little bit about how entwined it is in the early history, the mystique, if you like, of Kate Bush. So let's listen to the song first of all. James and the Cold Gun. It was track one, side two of that vinyl album there. Here we go.
You've been gone too long, baby.
48 years. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, well, here we are. This is James and the Cold Gun. And I mean, I don't think it's ever going to be remembered perhaps as the greatest track on the album because there are so many interesting songs. Obviously, apart from the lead single, "Wuthering Heights," and there's "The Man with the Child in His Eyes." There's the saxophone song, which we've already done. "Oh, to Be in Love," I just love that. "Them Heavy People." There's so many good songs. Um, but this song featured when she did about 20 gigs with the KT Bush Band back in 1977. What had happened was that she had been signed up to EMI back in 1976, in the summer of 76. This was after the whole David Gilmour um, episodes and I don't mean it in a bad way. David Gilmour was a friend of a friend, I believe, and of course he heard her tapes. She had written hundreds of songs as a young girl, as a young teenager, and David Gilmour got her into a studio and they recorded a couple of songs, didn't they? Um, and that's what he eventually played to EMI. And I think "The Man with the Child in His Eyes" was one of those songs. I think the saxophone song was as well. Um, and of course, EMI thought, wow, this is brilliant. But she was only 16 and her parents wanted her to finish school. She wanted to finish school. And she had no live experience, no experience of playing music other than writing songs in her bedroom, basically. Um, so a band was formed. Vic King on drums, Del Palmer on bass, who of course was to become a major collaborator with her and her partner for 15 years, and Brian Barth on guitar. And this was all made through contacts with this band, sort of was put together through contacts with Kate's brother Paddy and David Gilmour. And anyway, they got together and they called themselves the KT Bush Band, and they played about 20 gigs in pubs all around southeast London, famously in the Rosalie in Lewisham. I lived a few years earlier, I had lived just down the South Circular Road from Lewisham in Catford, so I know the area well. It is not a salubrious area. Apologies to anyone who lives in Lewisham or Catford. But it's not exactly Hyde Park or Mayfair, certainly not. But that's where she learned her chops. They did about 20 gigs and they did lots of covers. So they were doing The Stealer by Free, and they were doing Marvin Gaye songs and Otis Redding songs. And also they did a couple of her songs. And James and the Cold Gun was one of those songs. Um, and she kind of loosened up her stage presence somewhat, so that when she became a little more confident, when it was time for James and the Cold Gun, she'd do a quick costume change and she'd wear her cowboy girl skirt, cowgirl skirt, and kind of play the role and shoot people with a plastic gun. um, and this went on for about 20 gigs for about 3 months. And then the EMI guys saw her at work and said, right, she's ready now. And so from the summer of 77, she went into the studio and she recorded The Kick Inside. Now, reading in her biography, Under the Ivy, which is such a wonderful book, she she tried to get the KT Bush band to be the players on the album, but Andrew Powell, who was slated to be the producer, was having none of that, and he said, "No, no, I need experienced people." So he got a couple of members from a Scottish band, Pilot. He got Ian Benson on guitar and David Payton on bass, and two people from Cockney Rebel, Duncan Mackay on keys and Stuart Elliott on drums. And I must have a glass of water. I'm struggling to speak. um, and so the band were a little bit. Nothing had been promised, but they were obviously disappointed that they didn't get a chance to actually play in the studios. Although, of course, Brian Barth did play guitar on future Kate albums, and of course, Del Palmer um, became bassist and then engineer and the sounding board for Kate in all those early years, um, up until I guess towards the end of the 80s and into the early 90s. So James and the Coal Gun was one of the songs off the album that she had been playing with her band prior to that, and it just feels to me like it's important. It's a song that helped her through those early days and helped her gain the confidence to walk into the studio, and um, probably to more effect by the time of Lionheart, the second album, where she started to push her weight around a little bit more and say, no, this is what I want to do, this is how I want things done. She was still, I read, still fairly timid in the days of recording this first album, but everything was to change, of course. It's so lovely to listen back to her early albums. This is the seventh song we've done with Kate now, and we've only done the saxophone song from this album. I mean, I'm trying not to play the tried and trusted ones, so there's plenty still to go through. We haven't touched Lionheart yet, and we haven't touched Never Forever either. We've done a couple from The Dreaming, we've done the title track, and we've done Suspended in Gaffer. Yeah, and a couple more. So there's lots of Kate Bush songs still to go through. And we'll be doing that, I promise you. Um, if you are a Kate Bush fan and you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. More importantly, go into our playlists linked below and check out the Kate Bush songs that we've done, and have a little listen. And if that encourages you to subscribe, then all the better. Thank you. Comment please as well. I love to read the comments, and we usually have plenty of comments when Kate Bush songs are played. So I'm looking forward to that. I just want to show you, finally, before we go, this CD. It's one of the reissues done a few years ago, with Kate's own label on the CD, Fish People, and they're all really nice packaged CDs with lovely lyric sheets inside. There we go. I've got the whole set, apart from The Hounds of Love. I haven't got that one on this particular series, so I must go out and get that. I've got everything else. And what do you think? Here's throwing something out at you. I've got also the Before the Dawn 3-disc recording of her series of 20 concerts from 2014. The ones that I couldn't get into because everything was sold out in about 2 minutes. Would you like to hear some of the live recordings from that? they're superb if you haven't heard them. They're absolutely fantastic. But tell me what you think about that idea. But in the meantime, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching again, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Have You Heard, which will be out very soon. Cheers, everybody.